And while we're on the topic of criticism, there's one point I'd honestly rather skip, but obviously can't. As we all know, every adaptation of a cult classic comes with controversy, which brings us to the inevitable critique. I would try to spend as little time as I can on the baseless ones, and try to focus on the ones that could, at least to some extent, be justified. It's quite evident that the show taking Richter's trauma and fear seriously is one of its strongest elements, but that still to some surprise somehow manages to become a point of controversy, as some people don't think it was pretty mojo of him, running away from Olrox a second time. People think they want perfect characters, but what they keep forgetting is that perfect characters make boring characters. Simply put, no one wants to watch paint dry. Another one is that the creators seem to have completely misunderstood how Richter Belmont was supposed to be portrayed, that he is not faithful to the famous character at all. Not knowing that what they're asking for is an unshakable alpha Chad who would only spend the entire series walking to the right and whipping stuff without ever even breaking a sweat. A TV show needs to have a plot. One I've rarely seen, but I think can actually be justified to an extent, is that Richter Belmont, the game character, can more or less be written very similarly to how Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star was written, because this is the closest character to Richter. You'd understand what I'm talking about if you read the Fist of the North Star manga. Another thing Nocturne suffers from is repeatedly being compared to the original show. We've seen outstanding shows like Avatar: The Legend of Korra, Ben 10 Omniverse, Justice League Unlimited, and many more, shows that would otherwise be labelled masterpieces if their original, better predecessors just didn't exist. Although usually unknowingly, Nocturne gets judged hard for not being the Trevor, Alucard and Cypher show, a show with a strong atmosphere, great themes, solid character work, and 4 seasons to cook. Apparently, another point of contention is that the writers took so many liberties and made the story unnecessarily complex, and as a result, the characters are unrecognisable. Why the French Revolution setting? Why so much emphasis in politics? People even go as far as to say that it felt like the people behind Castlevania Nocturne wanted to create something else. A story about teenagers/young adults that use superpowers to fight against an oppressive ruling class in a revolution that happened centuries ago. The problem is that instead of creating a franchise of their own, they slapped all of these ideas on the Castlevania franchise, which had already gained a decent popularity thanks to the previous animated series. And since a good chunk of the fans didn't know or care about the original games, they decided to use the popularity of Netflix Castlevania to ensure the success of this new, initially unrelated story.